tell you what Urban Game Changer is and what I'm about. I am a writer. I do not blog, I write. I have a column for the Communities Washington Times. Communities is out of Washington, D.C., and it consists of writers that talk about the communities nationally, not only in their local states and community, but nationally. My passion of my column is grassroots. Now, a lot of people, you'd be surprised, do not know what that word means. It has been misconstrued and said in so many different fashions and ways, and so I usually have to break it down for them, what grassroots is. But that is what my passion is. I was born and raised in Los Angeles, in South Central, as they call it, though there is no South Central, by the way. It got branded after the riots. But if you were to write down South Central Los Angeles, you're not going to get to anybody's house, because there really ain't no South Central. But for those who are in the hood, they're saying, yeah, I'm from the hood, I'm from South Central, and I can represent, and I have represented for many years. I will tell you that I became a Republican since I was able to vote. Now, this is very strange. Thank you. That's very strange for some because they say, how can you be black and a Republican and from South Central? Right? It's like that little tart candy you get when you're a kid, like I gotta have it, it's sweet, but get that. Well, that's kind of like the way I am. The reason why is because my parents were entrepreneurs. They owned their own business. It was called Tiny Town College on 39th in Vermont. An African-American husband and wife who were married almost 40 years. Let me explain what I'm here today to. I'm here to let you know that there's hope. And that we are Northerners. We live on the North. We're not like the South. We're not like the RNC. We don't have to listen to them who tell us that we are an extinct species, because that's what they like to make us feel like we're. Not wanted, unappreciated, our numbers don't count. We're 55 electoral votes, and yet we give the golden nuggets away. When they come here, we're excited. We're thinking they're going to like us more. And yet when they run every 4 years, whatever that guy is that runs, we tend to give him the money and the gold. When we have our own local issues here, we have problems with them. See, that's grassroots. It's understanding that the grass and the roots don't come together unless the soil is very nourished. But we don't nourish ourselves. We allow the nourishment to go away. We give that away. So I'm going to give you ideas, concepts. I'm going to provide for you a way to restore yourself. It's like a woman with hair with no conditioner. You ever seen that? It was really bad. She got a lot of twist to it. It's like the Legally Blonde thing. Do you guys remember Legally Blonde? Okay, it's a girl thing. Come on, work with me. But I want you to understand the value of health and nutrition. There's a couple of older people here, and I know that they need to take their vitamins. They need to take their medicine. They need to wake up. They need to cut back on the coffee and the salt and the sugar. That's all of us. That's what's the problem with the GOP in California. We've been inundated with all these false truths on how to take care of ourselves. If we take care of ourselves, we might be able to help you. But we can't be that. We really are the Superman. The Northerners are. But the Northerners have forgotten their own strength. They have been infiltrated and told how to think and how to act, and we don't need their thinking. We just need to rethink ourselves. Okay, so let's start. What is Urban Game Changer? Urban Game Changers consist of Republicans, Libertarians, Independents, Democrats, conservative Democrats that are supportive towards business growth. The Goody method is the key thing. We run this state on governmental programs. We have a lot of governmental expanded programs. We have a lot of nonprofit programs. And instead of cutting back and conserving, we expand. You know, last night I was at a function in Los Angeles, and it was a function that was not a Republican function. It was in the heart of the neighborhood. It was all mostly African Americans, and they talked about business and being entrepreneurs. And as I sat on the panel, I began to tell them what a conservative is. And they said, oh, I don't like a conservative. I said, really? Can you eat at Houston's every night? Can you eat at Morton's every night? I said, that's called conserve. You have the right to hold back what you have. Granted, you might be able to afford it, but by the end of the day, you won't be able to pay your rent. You make a conscious decision to hold back and to spend less. And they go, oh, I never thought about it like that. And I said, you know, you all sit up here and you have your own business, right? They go, yeah. I said, you're capitalists. Oh, no, I'm not a capitalist. I mean, I'm not one of those bad guys. I said, really? So you are not trying to capitalize off of the audience tonight with your product in whatever you do. Sing, dance, act. Or if you're selling something, you're not trying to capitalize. You can see that is the capitalist by becoming urban game changers. Because an urban game changer is not just thinking one-dimensional. You have to accept the fact that we are losing. You have to accept the fact that we are not the dominating group of people that collaborate together, meaning that we're not the Democrats. So even if you're a strong right-wing person in this room right now, you have to accept the fact that you're losing, and you will continue to lose. But what I want to also encourage you all to realize, you do not have to retreat or exit the Republican Party. What you need to do is take authority and own your space and own your time. And I'm going to tell you how. If we think about libertarians and independents and conservative Democrats, have you identified the conservative Democrats? What is a conservative Democrat? Well, I just told you what a conservative is. I just told you what a capitalist is. See, you have to identify the enemies who are kind of on your side. Why? I don't want to do that. I don't like them. But wait a minute. Hold up. You're not the majority. And you're not winning. How long has Barbara Boxer and Feinstein been in office? Does anybody know?
Forever.
So 21 years, right? Is that wonderful? Do you guys like that? No, we don't like that. We don't like that. And how are we going to change that?
How about by running a decent candidate and actually have to try to win?
He says run a good candidate. I say no, I think you're wrong. And I'm going to tell you how. Because we have to start with the people first. You can't prepare a candidate if they're not going to get any votes. So we're going to talk about the soil and the ground. You're right in line with the tree. But your tree roots are not deep enough. So if we look at that particular candidate that thinks they're going to run, they don't know the district, they've not built rapport up with the community people, they're not going to win. So is it about running the right candidate, or is it preparing the constituent to understand who they're voting for, to play in the minds of the constituents? If I were to ask you this question, raise your hand if you have your district, your elected, assembly person's phone number, office phone number in your cell phone. Raise your hand. Okay, that's 3 people in the room, maybe 4. What about Congress, your congressional leader? Do you have his office cell phone in your phone? In your phone, the number in your phone. See, you say you're Republican and you're passionate and you got your apps. I got an app. App is not the answer. You have to get out of the house, off the computer, and go talk to the people. So how do you work together? We need to know, number 1, who's our state senator, where you live. Number 2, know who your congressional leaders, your assembly people are. Know the water board. If you don't have a water board, know the person who's in charge of your water. They like playing with the money. They like playing with the money. So you may not find, well, I don't care about that. Then why are you here? Because if you're patriots, if you have a passion for justice, then you need to know your roots. See, you can't go after somebody and she won't talk to me, she won't talk to me. Take about 20 Republicans with you, knock on the door. Start tweeting, start blogging about her and how horrible she won't give you any time. Start talking to the constituents and say, do you have problems with the same issue, whatever that problem you have, and if it's related to everybody else? See, it doesn't matter what party they're with, because those people want justice. But if we're not acting like the Justice League, we're not going to win. People ask, what does Urban Game Changer do? Well, we have people, not only in California, I have teammates that I'm building in Louisiana, and Florida, New York, and even in Texas. And what we do is just as you see, we go and we speak across the country. We're telling them basic message of providing you nourishment for the soil. Because remember, you have the soil, the roots, the tree, the trunk, and you keep going on up and you have the leaves. The leaves is the federal. And it's almost an illusion. We get so mad and we go, I gotta get Obama out. I can't stand Obama, he's horrible. Obama does not control your water board. Obama does not set the standard in this country. You do. But you've allowed the power to be gone, to dissipate in the air. You've given it away. You're not stepping up and taking control. You're not nourishing and getting more people educated to understand basic principles. You can't eat at Houston's every night. You're a conservative. You don't want to admit it. Or not like that. Let's talk about your lifestyle. Because this economy has affected our what? Oh, I didn't hear it again. What has this economy affected? And see, that's relatable no matter what party you're with, right? Okay, so when you go talk to people, you don't talk, say, I'm a Republican and I'm a Tea Party person. Oh my God, do not go saying out you're a Tea Party person. Because they don't understand what you do. Not that Tea Party's not good, it's that the brand has been tainted. It's not been monitored, and when it's talked bad about, like Maxine Waters says, you can go to hell. You guys don't do anything, so they go to hell. They must be going, nobody's fighting for it. You know, nobody likes Maxine Waters. Let me tell you what Maxine Waters raised in the primary. See, I'm a numbers person. Maxine Waters raised in the primary of this last campaign because we became redistrict. She raised $200,000. And guess how many Republicans ran against her?
Zero.
But you guys can't stand her, right? See, I think you like Maxine Waters. No, seriously. Because if you don't like something, you get rid of it. If you got bad milk in your kitchen, if you have bad milk in your refrigerator, do you keep it? You get rid of it, right? But she's had bad milk, you go, oh shit, I'm just gonna let it stay. Excuse me for cursing. I mean, really, they should have mad. But you're not doing anything. You don't give her a challenge. They have become so comfortable in controlling you. The Viragosa and the Brown and all of these people, Feinstein, Boxer, they think they're embedded for life. You have to know the strategies. If you want to make change, you have to put the nourishment back into the soil, and that's talking to the people. It's holding the constituents that are your elected officials who are not Republicans accountable. And if you're not doing that, do not come and talk about I'm a patriot for my country, because you're not. Accept the fact that the grassroots starts with you. It doesn't start with anybody else. So what Urban Game Changer does is we provide that knowledge like I'm providing with you. I do one-on-one consultings and I do group counseling. I begin to mentor the groups to make us have a strategy. You know, recently the GOP came up with, of course, the GOP Plan of Action. What is it called? Anybody know? It's called the Growth and Opportunity Plan. It's their new plan to go into the urban community. Not black, not Latino, just kind of to go into. Do anybody know how much money they're supposed to be spending? $10 million. They said $10 million they're going to spend in the urban community. Let's get a reality check. How much money do you think is coming to California? Oh! So who's going to save us? We are. Best answer in the room. So don't look to them. We have to save ourselves. But we continue not to like ourselves. Every time there's a new GOP chairman, I don't like him. I don't like her. You guys are a bunch of Scrooges. I don't like that one. He smells funny. How old is he? Oh, another one. You got any money? We need money. Can you make some money come? We all need money. Everybody's whining about money. Whine on the fact that you have numbers. If you don't have money, you need numbers. If this group is not tripled, make it tripled. Make it an effort that every time you have this, that you have a strategy to bring somebody here. So what Urban Game Changer does is I provide you strategy. Just as I just have given you tonight to identify first, your cell phone is the power, your super tool that you can have. You are superheroes. You're urban game changers, and you need to be on your congressional people. Who knows who Tim Donnelly is? Anybody get Tim Donnelly's email? Raise your hand. Wow, that's really sad. You guys need to get to know Tim Donnelly. Tim Donnelly is an amazing assemblyman that is about holding people and the government and the state of California accountable. He always emails, correct me if I'm wrong, gentlemen, Mark and Gary, he always emails and lets you know if there's a bill issue. That if you need to, he'll even give you the number. He'll tell you what the phone number to call, or the person who's proposed the bill, or who's the head of the bill. Urban Game Changer is designed for we change the game in the community. See, you can be along blogging, twittering, and doing apps. That's wonderful. You can come to little Republican clubs and everybody likes you and we get along. But the real world is when you leave here and you get in your car. The real world is when you go to work and you have to work with these psycho people who continue to tell you that we have to pay for everybody and it takes a village to feed a child. Well, it takes brains and a common sense to get paid too, doesn't it? So, this is the things that you say to them. But you have to, instead of being aggressive and attack them, you need to listen. Do you even tell your race that's real brutal right now? It's the mayor's race. Who's running for mayor?
Wendy Gruhl.
Wendy Gruhl and who else? And Eric Garcetti. Who's going to win? We don't know. You don't know, right? Right? You don't know. Why? Where's the Republican? He's not running, right? Oh, there's no Republican. I'm not going to watch that race. But guess what? He's the mayor of Los Angeles, or she'll be the mayor of Los Angeles. But see, we don't like them. Why? Because they're not a Republican. Okay, but they're corrupt, she said. I don't like them, so I'm just gonna let them be corrupt and run and win. And I'm gonna ignore it, It's like bad milk in the refrigerator. Okay, it's a bad milk in the refrigerator deal. Because see, that kind of attitude is a bad milk in the refrigerator. You have to identify, they're gonna be a mayor. It's gonna either be either or, either way you like it. And so you need to know them, so you need to know their policies, and you know what you need to like and dislike to make sure we don't get further down the rabbit hole in California, because God knows we're in a rabbit hole. Recently I was on Huffington Post, and the debate was how Washington, Obama, is going straight to the people and not using the media. See, he has his own droids. He's got his own media.
He's a community organizer.
Okay, so how he does his media is that he uses Facebook and Twitter. And he doesn't, so the media has to look to Facebook and Twitter and YouTube to find out what the president's doing. He's not going to them anymore. He's going strictly to the constituents. But guess what? How many TV channels are there in the country? Billions, because there's a thing called YouTube. Everybody's got a channel. Everybody's got a channel. How many Twitter accounts are there? Billions, because there's not only channels and accounts in America, there is a universal thing now, it's an international thing. See, the power comes back to the people. That's what I want you to identify. It's numbers that can walk in that door and help that man out. It's numbers. So yes, I identify what you're saying, but what I want you to identify is taking back the power that you have and gathering your troops and saying, let's tweet them. Just like you guys did with the Huffington Post scenario, up and down. It's the same thing. Grant you, the old school would have been like where the president would have a press conference, which he still does, and he talks to the staff and he talks to them about current affair issues like what happened in Boston. But on the note, just to let you know, when he wants something infiltrated into the minds of American people, because he's a constitutional lawyer, keep that in mind, how does he do that? He tweets, he Facebooks, he does YouTube videos. And they find out at the same time we do. Meaning the people. And even as a writer, I don't blog, I have a column for the communities Washington Times. And the community people, we're just like you. We're writing and thinking, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. And we comment on it. So media is being twisted right now. It's really, really being twisted. But the power comes down to the people.